Hello everyone, I'm the Mole Man and welcome back to Train Sim World 2 and welcome to Southeastern High Speed. We're at St Pancras. The passengers are coming, so let's start walking before they start trying to chase us down the platform too much. But look at the lovely 395 Southeastern High Speed. This is what I'm talking about. For this first run, we're going to go down to Faversham. That we are. And speaking of run, let's speed up so we don't leave too late. But yes, Southeastern High Speed. What an experience this is for me. Because this is, as those of you who'll know, a local route of mine. High Speed 1 is something I've done many times. So let's sit down, bring the HUD up, and let's get the train set up. That's it, I'm doing AWS as well. Excellent. Right, get the doors open. Get the headlights on. Excellent. Let's have a look around. Now that we've got a floaty camera. So we've got a 12 car set next to us here. And we've got a 6 car set. Run along a high speed 1. From here to Ebbsfleet via Stratford, then going on to the classic lines with third rail through Medway and into Faversham. Big smile on my face. This the 395. Just look at that as a model and the livery. It's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. The model of this is really nice. It really puts if you put it side by side compared to the TS1 version, it's a little bit it's quite a shocking difference. But this is a lovely model, and because of the nature of the cab there, I've put it in. I'm doing a widescreen video. Let me know what you think of that. If you don't like it, I'll stop doing it. Now, let's get ourselves underway. That's it. Should be. Oh no, I forgot to do this already. Pan up, shoes down. There we go. See, I forgot to do something already. Had to close the MCB so we could actually draw power from the overhead wires. We're on the move. That we are. As this is very much a sort of a first look for all of you, I'm going to do it with a HUD, even though we don't necessarily need it on high speed 1. I'm going to keep it on anyway. So we can do 40 kilometers an hour at this point. You'll notice everything's in kilometers per hour at the moment. That is because we're on high speed 1. And what I'm going to do, for the sake of the tunnels, I mean, yes, there is an issue at the moment that will be sorted out with the lighting in the tunnels. But because I want you to see the cab, I'm going to put the cab lights on and the desk lights on, which I will do as we enter the tunnel. That I will. But we're on our way. That we are on our way to Faversham. Get lots of services with this route after it was tweaked to have a few more services just before release. If you own Northern Transpennine and East Coastway, you get a total of 264 services, I think. Lots to keep you busy, and lots for me to do videos on. So that's going to be good fun. That's going to be good fun. Yes, if you can expect me to do quite a bit with this. That you can. Because there is just so much I want to do. I want to drive trains. That's all I want to do. Right, so I'm going to put the cab light on and the reading light so you can see in here. I mean, you'll see the external of the cab flicker anyway, because there's a lighting issue with Unreal. It's being sorted out. But this didn't quite make the cut. I mean, one thing you've got to remember, these are the longest tunnels in the country. 200 kilometers an hour, let's go. These are the longest tunnels in the country. something they've never done before. So I imagine it just cropped up some new issues with tunnel lighting and baking in TSW, but it will be sorted out. You see, if I turn them off right now, you can see the cabs doing funky things, but that'll be sorted out. But just leave the lights on so you can see the cab whilst we're in here. Do that for all the tunnels, just so you can have a look around. There's plenty of stuff to play with here. Horn, depot whistle, which I love. I love the depot whistle. Got the door buttons. You can open the front coupler. Om-nom. Well, they can't really do the om-nom in the same way. It's not on a keyboard press like it is in TS1. You can open it there, but then you've got to close it over there. So I'd have to run around to do that. So I probably won't do that in this. But you can open and close it. So I'm sure that would be the first question from many people. But yeah, it is possible. 225 kilometers an hour. What's weird, I'm so used to the TS1 version of this route, but this has got more accurate speed limits on High Speed 1. And I know, because I've had a cab ride in one of these things. So I knew that TS1 was wrong, so it's nice to have some revised speed limits. But the way TVM works is it's flashing at the moment, and it's going to go down to 200. That's telling us that by the next marker, which is in 800 yards or so, we need to be down to that speed and be prepared to continue to keep going down. TVM, you just do what it says, really, and that's why you don't really need the HUD. But as I said, I'm leaving it up for this run, just so you can get an idea of it all. That's it. So by the next marker I need to be down to 160 kilometers an hour, because we are about to stop at Stratford International. That we are. And something I've never managed to do in TS1, not properly, is learn where to stop at the right place at Stratford. I always mess up the stop at Stratford. So it'll be interesting to see if I can do it in this. That it will. I've got to get down to 100, which will be just in time. I haven't turned TVM on. I mean, it's on because you need it. It's the signalling. But if I was speeding, it wouldn't completely and utterly throw me off in terms of emergency brakes and all that lot. Because it's chill experience. Train Sim World is my chill experience. If I just want to sit down and drive a train, I play TSW. That I do. Well, welcome to the concrete box that is Stratford International. Go over onto the platform here. The line going up on the right there in between the two platforms, that's up to Temple Mills Depot. That's where the Eurostar goes. Yes, you're going to get facts in this route video. And if you've heard them before, then it means you've probably watched me play this in TS1. And it's going to be a lot of repeats of information, because it's all stories and stuff, isn't it? And history about the route. I'm going to turn that off. Control 7 to turn that off, by the way, on a keyboard, if you don't want the stopping guide. There's me. I've overcooked it now. The 6-gun marker is there. I'm coming in too slow. I'm hoping the frame rate keeps up. I'm running this at 1440p widescreen, so if I zoom in, the frame rate seems to die, but that's only because of my computer. There's a 6-car marker. We're a smidge late, but it's okay. Open the doors. Let's have a look around. So this is Stratford. These are the not in use international platforms. They were only ever used for the Olympics, I think, when they were running extra services. But other than that, never used. Although it looks like you can go over there because there's a route task over there, which is kind of cool. Get the usual sort of array of route tasks. You get route maps, wallpapers. Not wallpapers. I just got hit by. What did you do? Ah, right. I got budged out the way by people because Londoners are just, yeah, Londoners. No, you got route maps, newspapers is what I meant to say. Keep back from platform edge signs and broken fences. If you like running around and doing those things, you can run around and do those things. So yeah, there's the line up to Temple Mills. That's got the DLR. The North London line's sort of over there, and Stratford Regional is over there. It's Westfield Shopping Centre. It's rather cool. Right, let's the doors open. Close. I'm tired. It's been a lot of work. A lot of work. Right, let's... The best thing about this is, I'm going to full power. Let's listen to the traction motors. I love the sound of these trains. It's very nice. It's very nice. But due to we've only got a 6-car train, and the way TVM is labelled out and laid out, I reckon it will tell us to do 225 before we get to 100, so I don't even need to come off the throttle. In theory. Going back into a single line to dive back into another tunnel. This is tunnel 2. There's 225. Excellent. So yes, this is tunnel 2, which takes us through to the Dagenham area. That it does. That it does. Nice to see this out the door. Nice to see this out the door. Because I get to drive it. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. I'm sure you'll all be sick to death of me driving it. But do make sure you let me know whether you like the widescreen or not. Because if you don't, I'll change it back. I just thought I'd do something a bit different for this run. Especially because we've got such a wide, streamlined cab. Very wide, very narrow. I thought it would work well for this, to give it a bit more of a cinematic effect. But if you don't like it, let me know. It's one of those things it's hard to get right. And I'd love, in a perfect world, to do both. And give you guys the option, but swapping to and fro all the time, that's not for me. That's not for me. But it's nice for me in the widescreen. Very immersive. Very immersive. You'll notice there's no traction motor sounds in here. If you know your Class 395s, you know that the motors are in coaches 2 through 4, and we're in 1. Or 6, of course, if we were in the other end. No, 2 through 5. That's it, yeah, 2 through 5. And then either 1 and 6 is where there's no motors, so we can't hear them. And that's one of the interesting things with TS1. The 395 and TS1 and the sound packs you could get, like the sound mods for it, they would add the traction motors into this coach so you could hear them, just to give it that bit of an extra feel. But in reality, you wouldn't. We just got a nice bit of rumble. A nice bit of rumble. And these things aren't particularly loud in the cab, really. You get the wind noise, get the clutter, but generally speaking, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So it won't be too much longer, and we should burst out into the land of Rainham, Essex. Rainham, Essex is the important thing, because there's 2 Rainhams on this route. We fly through one, a high-speed one, and we call at one later on in the journey. There's two Rainhams, Rainham, Essex, and Rainham, Kent. So that's fun. That's fun. Causes no ends of confusion, believe me, but it's all good. We're nearly doing line speed, but I think we're about to start climbing out of the tunnel. Yeah, there we go. We can just see the light appearing there. Yeah, as I said, longest tunnels. The last 2 tunnels we've gone through are the longest tunnels in the country. The previous record holder was the Severn tunnel that linked Bristol to Wales, but let's turn the cab lights off now. But yeah, these are now the longest tunnels in the country. But you do them at such speed, it doesn't even really feel like it. This is high speed 1, which is very nice. I've driven 39 miles already. That'll be because of the intro that I recorded. I'm sure some people will find that a little bit distasteful, but I wanted to do it. If those of you who know what I'm paying sort of like homage to in my intro that I did at the start of this video, then you know. If you don't, then whatever. Maybe I'll link it in the description just as a reference. But yeah, I wanted to do that because ever since I saw it, I've always wanted to try and recreate it, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity. Especially because of how wonderful this 395 is. In terms of model, look at it. And the high speed 10th anniversary. For those of you who don't know, because the 10th anniversary was in 2019, before the world sort of was put on hold, I celebrated the 10th anniversary, which I think is the 13th of December, I think. 2019 was the 10th anniversary, the actual day, and I celebrated it by riding on 395s all day. So the 10th anniversary's got a very special connection to me, because I literally did over 400 miles on 395s in one day. I think I touched everywhere they go in a typical day-to-day timetable in one day. So it's really nice to see that. And of course, we've got the Trainbow. Maybe we'll see it in this video, maybe we won't. It's one of those things where it's 395012, and it only appears if 395012 spawns either as AI or a player. So we may see it. It could be on one of these trains for all we know. Might not be. Not today. Maybe if we go past another 395 later. Maybe we'll see it then. But I'll dig it out. I'll dig it out at some point. We'll find it and we'll give it a drive. Because I love me a bit of Trainbow. Don't want to speed there. One of the interesting things you'll notice on the HUD, the little speed dial that tells you what the speed limit actually is actually at 230, not 225. And that's because the speed limit along this route is 230 kilometers an hour. But we can only do 225. A Eurostar would do 230 along here. Which is interesting. I wonder if you use off the rails mode, if the TGV will display 230. Could be very interesting to find out. There is the Dartford crossing. So if we just zoom over here, there is the Dartford crossing. TVM's telling us to slow down. So slow down we shall. Only a little bit. Because this is a Tunnel 3, Thames Tunnel. Going to go under the Thames. Let's put the lights on again so you can see. I know you're not supposed to drive with cab lights on, but given there's issues with the lights anyway, it just looks better. When the tunnel issue is sorted out, I'll do it in the dark. That I will. It's just one of those weird things that just wouldn't work, but it's being worked on. They're figuring it out. Right, so the next one we've got to be down even further. It's those little markers, by the way. You'll see them possibly. The little TVM flags. I can't remember what they're actually called. But it's in 300 yards. Where is it? There's one. Just went past it. So those are the boards where you've got to be down to the next speed limit by the time you go past one of them. So we get down to 130. That's good enough for me. And we are out of the Thames Tunnel and in the vicinity of Ebbsfleet International. The line from Dartford is going to go over us, and we will join it on the North Kent line into Gravesend. I'm going to keep the speed coming down. We've got to stop here. Let the passengers do their thing. So we go up onto the domestic. I like to call it the domestic platforms. I think it calls it domestic in game as well. And then you've got the main station, which is where the international services and the Ashford services stop at. And their AI is in... Oh, that was a test magnet for AWS. Just to remind us that we're going onto National Rail Network. Yes, so that Ebbsfleet station there, you can't drive to it, but the AI services are there. So you do see the traffic, but you can't go there. Which is fine. You can still come up here and go along our way. I'm not doing well at driving this. I'm too excited. I'm too excited. So once we stop up here, we're going to have to change power mode. So you can see the third rail has appeared. Just there. So I'm going to stop anywhere around here, really. Right. Doors. And now we've got to change power modes. Neutral. Hold down DC. Wait till it lights up. I'll turn these lights off now. for a little while. And then push pan up, shoes down, and we're in DC mode. This has switched to miles per hour, as has the HUD. Let's have a look around. Ebbs fleet. Lovely boards here. We're on time still, which is good. This is a Ramsgate service. It's a 395 timetable. I think at the moment it's a little bit all over the place because of the reduced... I say reduced, it's more of an altered timetable because of the current situation. But it's fine. That's it. You still get a good service, and the trains are busier in the peak as well. But that is a screenshot worthy. That's very screenshot worthy. Right, let's bring that back up. Lock the doors. And one thing you'll notice now is the train will be a lot more sluggish on DC power. We've gone from 25 kilovolts AC to 750 volt DC. And the train is a lot more sluggish. I used to get around this in TS1 by only using notch 3. That sort of, because TS1 it didn't know the difference, so the physics were identical regardless of what power mode you were on. But in this they are different, so there is no need to only use notch 3. One can go straight into notch 4 and it will still be about as realistic as it can get. So, yeah, North Kent line coming in on the left. Going to dive under it and join up. Next stop is Gravesend. Down and up. So yeah, it's all in miles per hour now. Doing a 1 in 33 gradient. Come on, climb, climb. That's it. Another javelin. Very nice. No train bow. No train bow. Maybe we'll see one. Maybe we won't. It's the random chance. It adds in the train spotting element. Because unless you ask Southeastern every day where it is, then you don't know where it is. So it's always nice to wonder if you're going to see it or not. What do you want? Are you warning me of the 30? Probably. Yes. Not the 30 limit coming into Gravesend. Once we're at Gravesend, I'll take a look at the interior because, wow, the interior. It's exactly like the real thing. Let's start braking a little bit. It's got 30 limit in 700 yards. .400 yards. Doing well. We should see some 375s along here because they've added in sort of like a hybrid timetable, which I've got no problem with. It's partially my idea, but it was one of those things where we just wanted to add more traffic. So you've got the what would be Thameslink running as Southeastern services, which I think is perfectly fine. It keeps the route nice and busy. Keeps the route nice and busy. I was down for 30, alright, in good time, wasn't I? This is Gravesend. Used to be 4 tracks, now just 2 with a bay platform, which is the platform 0. So if you're one of those platform 0 hunters out there, there's a platform 0 right there. Are we still on time? No, we're a smidge late, which is okay. Bring the speed down. There's a 6-car marker. Excellent. Alright, let's open the doors. Stand up. And let's have a look in here. Because this... Oh, hello. Any more? No? Okay. You coming in? Welcome aboard. This interior is just spot on. It's exactly like this. Let's find my favourite seat. See if someone's sat in my favourite seat. Let's have a look. Run down the train. No, my favourite seat. It's right here. Excellent. It's perfect. It's a perfect seat. Because if you're in this seat on the Medway Valley line, this door lines up with the stairs at Strood. So this is my favourite seat. Not that I've been on one for about a year, but never mind. It's nice to see a 395 like this in this much detail, because I've not seen one in about a year. So this is DPTS 2. That's the standard size toilet. The other end has got an accessible toilet. Got the CCTV camera there. 39226, the numbers are actually there. That's cool. It's very nice. Right, we can leave. So let's leave and sit down. Excellent. Close those doors. Let's watch the departure from here, shall we? Objective complete. See if the frame rate dies by zooming in. Hopefully not. And we're off. Love that. And so we depart. That's it. Hub back up. Don't speed. Although we've just got into a 50 zone, so we can accelerate again shortly. Next stop is Strood. I'm going to go straight through Higham. Of course, the stopping services will stop at Higham. But we do not do that. The only time, and this is if you want to do a little bit of scenario plan of fun, you often, if Southeastern have ever got engineering works beyond Strood or Rochester, the 395s terminate at Strood or Rochester, then Thameslink tend to not run, or Southeastern wouldn't run the slowing services back in the day. So what the 395s would do is stop at Higham. So you'd have a service that starts at Rochester that calls at Strood, Higham, Gravesend, Ebbsfleet, Stratford, St Pancras. So if you want to replicate, or if you want to stop this at Higham, use the scenario planner to recreate one of those moves where the line beyond Rochester is closed, if you so desire. If you so desire. There's a few things you can do with that as well, actually. It doesn't happen in the more recent version of the timetable, like the 2020 timetable, but back in 2019, 2018, there used to be an empty stock move in the morning from London, non-stop to Faversham, which I think would be very interesting to try one day, see how quickly you can do it, especially with the power changeover. I don't know if you can do it on the move. You should be able to. I don't know if you can. Maybe that's something to try one day. So yeah, that empty stop move always used to get on my nerves, because it would it's right in the middle of the morning commute, and I think they've turned it into a passenger service now. I think that's the difference. It used to run through empty, but now it's a passenger service. So you can probably drive it in this as a passenger service, but when it was empty stock, you just had this empty 395 go through Strood. So I could have been on that. If it was in service, I could get on that and then, you know, get to work a lot earlier, but oh well. Anyway, we are running along the sort of the marshy area outside Gravesend right now. You'll notice over here we have a little bit of water. It's the remnants of a canal, which is important. We follow the canal and we'll keep in touch with the canal. We'll talk about it more shortly. That we will. That we will. But for now, we can just trundle along. Speed limits average a lot lower once you're off high speed 1. This is 70, down to 15, up to 20, up to 30, up to 50, up to 60, up to 90, and then back down, back up. It fluctuates a bit, but the average speed is probably about 70 miles an hour from here on out. There's one of the commuter services. I have no doubts that when the 465 releases, you'll be able to drive it on the same services, which will be quite nice. Who Junction, as you can see, if you own East Coastway, you get some static stuff in here, and an update will add playable services around Who Junction, including shunting, which will be good fun, shunting in the 66. Yeah, so that will happen, but the static stuff's all here, so it feels a bit more alive. There is one freight service at the moment. There should be 8, I think. I think it's 8. But we shall find out in a future update. I think it's literally just one thing that's stopping it, but whatever. We'll get it. We'll get it. Holding my speed quite nicely here. If I had the Visions device turned on, it would be blaring at me, but I didn't fiddle with all the switches at the back, so I've only got AWS turned on. But as I said, TSW is my chill thing. I don't do as many videos on it, because if I'm playing TSW, it's usually something I do in my spare time. Anyway, I'm going to get the lights back on, because we're about to go into the tunnels. And I told you about the canal, because the tunnels we're about to go through, let's put these on, this is Higham. This is Higham. Yeah, so the tunnel we're about to go through is Higham Tunnel and Strood Tunnel. Used to be a canal tunnel. I've told this story before. Used to be a canal tunnel. Canal boats used to run up and down here. The canal linked the Medway and the Thames. So you used to have canal boats running up and down here. Then these newfangled thing called railways came along. Oh yes they did. And they wanted to call it Strood. They wanted to terminate their line at Strood. So what they did was they built one line in this tunnel, sort of up on, I think it was just up on wooden struts and a bit of embankment inside the tunnel. So the tunnel was half canal, half railway. And when they did that, the canal boats could no longer pass each other. So what they did to alleviate that issue was dig this hole in the middle of the tunnel, making two tunnels out of one. This is the bomb hole. That's BOMB, where canal boats could pass each other as a passing point, which is very cool. Of course, the canal no longer exists. It's a full double track line through here. But the tunnel was never lined properly. It was never finished to a proper railway tunnel standard. And hence, in the early 2000s, part of it collapsed. Don't think anyone was injured. I don't think there was a train through it at the time. But the tunnel collapsed and they closed it for an entire year to line it properly. You can see it's sort of like a concrete lining. They lined the tunnel properly and secured it. But I remember when I was little, before it collapsed, because of how unsteady the interior of the tunnel was, the speed limit through here was 20 miles an hour, sometimes even lower, like in bad weather conditions, in case the ground just went thrumph and the train happened to be going through it at the time. So if you want to replicate history, drive a train through here at 20, 15 miles an hour if you want. If you want to do that, you do that. Get a feel for how long it used to take to go through these tunnels. It was a painful experience. But these days, 70 miles an hour all the way, except we are coming up to a 15 limit because we've got a sharp 90-degree corner into Strood. That we have. Once again, I slowed down way too soon, but it's okay. I'm not really paying too much attention. I'm just, as I said, too excited. It's like with the SEP. I wasn't driving the SEP properly, and I'm not driving this properly. We'll get there. We'll get there. And I will do another video on the SEP shortly. It's just I've made a scenario for it, and I've had to play it 3 times already to make sure it works. So I want to essentially try and forget that I've made it before I drive it again, because otherwise it'll be like, oh, that happens and that happens and that happens, and it's boring if I try and drive a scenario 4 times in quick succession. So I'll do that at some point. But yes, this is Strood. The rebuilt Strood, of course. 12-car platforms, new building, new lifts. You do still have the underpass though, so that's all good. Try and keep our speed up through here. Obviously the platform 3 and the track in front of us is the Medway Valley line. Those of you who've been watching my channel for a while know I spent several years sort of campaigning for the Medway Valley line in Train Simulator. And you can bet I'm going to start campaigning for it in Train Sim World as well. Non-stop. I want the Medway Valley line in Train Sim World. I want the Medway Valley line in Train Sim World. Because it's all I ever want in life is to drive down there. But we're going to have a look around here. There we go. I'm going to turn the cab lights off again in a sec. Yeah, this is pretty realistic. As you can see, we're running a minute late. We've got the Rainham services in there, which in reality are Thameslink, but Just gives you more to do. Gives you more to do. That's the staff room. So that's all good. It's like a maintenance one of the, I think one of these are all the toilets. You don't want to go in these. They are not pleasant. They are not pleasant. I think there's 2 of the safety signs on the same building. Yeah, it's keep back from the platform edge. I love this. In reality, there are audible announcements at Strood saying passing trains cause air turbulence. It's 15 miles an hour through here. That is not turbulence, but I love it. It's just good fun. This is one of those things I just love. Alright, we can go. Sit down. Merge to the chair. Lights off. Close the doors. The lights are on L and control L. And the depot whistle is on B. Unless you've go in and remap all your controls. I don't know what it would be on a controller. Might just be a point and click. Let's go. So yes, the Mobile Valley line goes off in front of us. Lovely line. And it is. And the Chatham main line is the line that's above it, and the line we're joining now. So this is the busiest section of the route. This is where the metro services, the mainline services, and the high-speed services converge. So between here and Gillingham is the busiest section of the route. No 395. No Trainbow. Oh, it's evading me. It's evading me. I will hunt it down. And here we are. This is Rochester Bridge. One of the best landmarks ever. Over in the river there. Got ourselves a old Soviet submarine, which is cool. And the classic Rochester Bridge. Rochester Castle is over there. Can't really see it very well at the moment. Kind of speeding. Not anymore. Let's go. Let's have a look. So, yeah, we've got pop-ups. We've got Rochester Cathedral, Rochester Castle. Lovely view from Rochester Castle. Lovely view. And there's a nice set of swings on the river bank over there where you can watch trains go over the bridge. Done that many times. And welcome to New Rochester. I say new. It's already been open over 5 years. Where's the time gone? Yeah, this station is already 5 years old, if you weren't aware. It opened at late 2015. It's old. It is old. But it's also new. It's in a better location. Could take 12-car trains. And as you can see on the left, they've been developing the area sort of on the edge of the Medway. I'm running late still. Oh well. That's not really going to change at this point. Let's have a look. So yeah, they've been developing all of this. You can see the cranes where they've been building. It's essentially housing, apartments, shops. Anything you think of they'd want to put in somewhere new, it's here. Because, yeah, they're building it. And it's got direct access to the station, essentially. Because there's an underpass somewhere along here that connects up to the station, which is right here. Let's see if we can have a look at it. There we go, Rochester Station. I'm pretty sure that lights up at night. So that's very cool. We do have the underpass. I don't know if we can fly the camera through here. See, I can go down and head into the other platform. That's it. Up we go. We've got platform 3 here. Don't know if it's used. I think it's usable in Scenario Planner. So if you want to have a train in platform 3 here, you can do so. I nailed that stop. That's good. Excellent. We've got more services at Ramsgate now, because we should start seeing some more 375s around here on Victoria to Kent Coast services. That's closed. Let's go. Let's hear those noises. And we're off. Speaking of the devil, there's a 375. Let's get out of its way. Of course, all livery designer compatible. You can guarantee that something will happen there. That it will. This is the old Rochester Station. Platforms are still here. I think they're turning the shop down on the street into a... turning the station into a shop, but the platforms are still here. And they stable the train here of a night time in the platform to our left. I believe that's in the timetable. So you can start a train from Old Rochester, which is rather nice. I'm going uphill here. That's it. This is Fort Pitt Tunnel, which is 429 yards long. I know that because in reality, I mean, it says it in meters here for some reason, but in reality, you go past slow enough to be able to read the sign. And I've gone past it so many times, I know it off by heart. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. East Kent re-signalling now, of course. LEDs. Lovely patterns on those. So that's cool. And this is, right here, Chatham Station. Home of Dovetail Games. And the dockyard, more importantly. But Dovetail Games is in the dockyard, so it makes sense. The dockyard is a wonderful place. They've got a steam railway there. They have a little steam train. It's so cool. And the dockyard's also used for filming stuff. There is nothing weirder, trust me, there is nothing weirder than seeing a place of work in like a film or a TV show. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. Because it completely takes you out of the experience. You're watching this really gripping drama. Someone's been chasing a car, they're about to beaten up or something. There's a lot of tension in the story. And then you see the other side of the River Medway when it's supposed to be like Belgium or something. And it's just like, well, that's my immersion completely and utterly broken. Oh, was the... Dude, the platform's this side. Honestly, it's Chatham. Not the brightest sparks. Definitely not the brightest sparks in Chatham. Different style of board. 2 minutes late. The bus stop is over there. Yes, and you can see here, there's nice big gaps either side of the station building. Because the railway used to be like a four track thing. Sidings for freight and all sorts used to be here. This used to be a really big station track-wise. Now, 2 tracks straight through is the best it really gets. Close the doors. More AI on the way. Because with the 375 you can run from Rochester to Gillingham, Rochester to Faversham, and then Gravesend to Rainham, and also Gravesend to Faversham on a few services, and vice versa, of course. Chatham Tunnel. Still got a limit of 30, goes up to 50 shortly, then up to 60, and then we're at Gillingham, where we see, for the first time, one of the features that has been re-implemented in this route, which is cool. I'll see if I can do something to show it off properly. Alright. I'm going uphill, so I've got to be careful here. Don't want to start speeding or going too slow. But you can see we've got a yellow signal. And that will be because the level crossing at Gillingham is currently up, not down. We are not cleared to leave Gillingham until the crossing goes down. So that is fun. And one way or another, I will show you the crossing. I might not be able to fly the camera over there quick enough and stop the train properly at the same time, but I'll figure something out. Alright. I believe this is Gillingham Tunnel. Yep, Gillingham Tunnel. Speed limit should go up to 60 very shortly. And this is the last tunnel on the route. It's the last tunnel. A very tunnely route. I've seen people, because this route's been in TS1 since 2013, the amount of people who moan that it's too tunnely. Like, they must see a little bit of tunnel, get fed up with it within 2 minutes, and stop driving it and never see the bits that aren't tunnel. It's bizarre. It's like, what else do you expect? It's recreating the route as it is. It has tunnels. So that's just one of those weird things. It's, you know, it is what it is. And again, through Medway, the speed limits are very slow because it's a very densely populated area, Medway. Effectively, these days, it's a city in its own right. Sort of like a small city that's got Strood, Rochester, Chatham, Gillingham, possibly Raynham as well. So yeah, that's good fun. That's good fun. Right, so here we are. So we've got a 375 in platform 1. That will have terminated from London Victoria and we'll head back at some point. But this is Gillingham. And we can stop here. Let's see if we can have a look. Let's see if we can have a look. Go, 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 go. I might miss it. I might miss it. There it goes. Going down. Hey, did it. That's cool. Should shut up in a second. In theory. Maybe it won't shut up. Some of these shut up, some of them don't. I can't remember which is which. There we go. This one shuts up. There's one outside Tenham that doesn't shut up. Anyway. Open doors. Lights off. Gillingham. Gillingham. Yes. Another way out there. Sort of like a side entrance exit. Steps are up here. The Gillingham, there it is. Very nice. Looks about right to me. These are the High Street area. Excellent. Let's look at that again. Southeastern High Speed. Love it. 10 years. It feels weird that it's 10 years already. I remember going on the Javelin for the first time. It's such a long time ago now. It's all good. Stood here many a time. I've also stood at the footbridge at the level crossing many a time. Right. Once again, let us depart. Next stop, Raynham. Let's go. And we're off. So these are all the East Kent signals. The East Kent Signalling Centre is that building on the right. So it's all done from in there. Managed, etc. I'm about to go past Gillingham Depot as well. There are some services in and out of Gillingham Depot. I wonder if there'll be a train in there. Who knows? There's also this siding here. Trains are often stabled up in here. I think that gets used as well. Probably in the evening. Over the crossing. We do have a train in the depot. It'd be over there. Very nice. Right. Speed is building, which is rather nice. Fun fact about this, if you want to have some unique train spotting locations, I believe you can climb up these ladders and walk up on these gantries. I think you can. It's a nice little touch. There's quite a few nice little touches. There are quite a few nice little touches. One of them being there's little light switches on a lot of the cabinets and stuff, or the sort of where the signals are and speed boards. There's little light switches you can turn on and off. One of my favourite details we'll see in a little while. That we will. Speed is building. Slowly but surely. You can see it's sluggish. We're on a slight downhill. It's essentially flat, but 65, 66, 67. It's very sluggish. Which is right. It is right. Just don't have the available juice on on third rail to make it go any faster. And if you've got stuff like aircon on and all that lot, that drains even more power and it goes even slower. Once again, yellow signals, because there is a level crossing at Raynham as well. That there is. We're a mile out from Raynham. So that's all good. Power off. I'm still running a bit late. I'm going to start slowing down. Because on the preview live stream, Matt managed to spad here. Which is, well, it's one of those things that can happen, I suppose. I'd rather not spad if I can help it. So we've got a 395 leaving, and the track going off diverges into platform 0. Again, another platform 0. A few fans of them out there, which is where the commuter services terminate. So you can see there's a 375 in there, but again, the 465 is on the roadmap. Shouldn't be too far away, and you should be able to put it in that platform. Right, this is Raynham. Approaching really slowly, making myself even later. I imagine the barriers are probably... oh no, they're up. You can see that they're up. We might be able to fly over them, they're a bit closer. Right, let's stop. Let's watch them go down. There we go. Let's get doors open for me. And down. You notice the animation is different as well. The one at Gillingham, half of them go down than the other half. These ones, they all go down, which is a nice little touch because there's loads of different kinds of level crossings. That there are. There's a different type further along as well. But just look at that. That is what I'm talking about right there. That is what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. Next train that will go past us is the 10:23 to London Victoria. So that's good fun. Can we leave? Not yet. Again, let's get a look close up at these signals. You can see just how nice the LED is. Like, all the different patterns are on here. So yellow, red, green, they've all got their own patterns. Which is very nice. We can leave. Let's go. Next stop, Sittingbourne. You have no idea how much I love the depot whistle. What a mate, because when these things were built, apparently they didn't have depot whistles. They just had another second low tone on the button, but then they added the whistle. And the first time I ever heard the whistle, blew me away. I loved hearing it so much. That I did. So it's a nice touch to have it in here, and especially on a keyboard press. Especially on a keyboard press. Because on the Electrostar, it's not on a keyboard press. The 377 at least. Not sure about the 375. I think that's got a different thing on the same keyboard press. We'll find out when we drive it one day. How about that? Right, we split up into 4 tracks here. Fast and slows, because Newington is in between us and Sittingbourne. And not all trains stop at Newington. So the trains that stop at Newington go on the outer tracks, and we whiz through the middle. Because we're running late, there's a yellow signal there. I do wonder if we're going to overtake a service that's sat in Newington that I'm holding up because I'm late. That's good fun. That's good fun. It's entirely likely. It is entirely likely. That's all fun. Going along nicely. Not far away from my favourite detail on the whole route. far at all. Ding. Yeah, I like this section. So that's the service that we saw. It was Victoria. That was one that stops at Newington. It's up there. It's going to go racing past us. There it goes. And we're just going to pop ourselves up here for my favourite detail. You'll notice there's third rail on either side of our tracks. This is like this in reality. On the down fast, they put third rail on either side to test to see if it would help with sort of picking up power in poor conditions. It didn't do anything to help in the slightest, but it's still there to this day. There are still double third rails in this section. This is Newington. Just another station along our way. That's cool. Whistleboard. Speed back up. Alright, Sittingbourne. Not far away now. Not far away. 2.8 miles. Won't take us too long. It's a penultimate stop. For us, at least. If you're in a 375, chances are you stop at Tenham as well. It could depend on the timetable. Some are faster, some are slower. Speed up. We're going up quite the incline here. This thing's so sluggish, it barely accelerates going up this gradient. It's just levelling off. That's it. There's our 70. Going up to 80. Don't want to speed though. Ding. Up to 80. As close as we can get before we've got to do the stopping. That is a thing. Stopping at Sittingbourne. Home of the Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway. One of my favourite little lines ever. I spent a whole day on it a couple of years ago. Such a welcoming line. Very dainty. Little tiny steam trains on narrow gauge track. It's going along. 1.1 miles. Notice the track diverging off to the left. That is to the Isle of Sheppey. Sheerness. All that lot. So that's where that goes. And it's a triangle junction, so we'll go past. We'll have lines come in as well. There they are. So these come in for the Sheerness branch. It's not in the route, but the turnouts are there, of course. And Sittingbourne is directly in front of us. And got a story to tell about Sittingbourne. That I do, once we get there, of course. So we're coming into the middle platform. The bay platform, I say bay, it is a through line, is used for the Sheerness branch. Main line uses these two platforms here, as you would expect. But this is Sittingbourne. And if I've got time, I say I've got time. We are running late. In fact, I think I'm running so late I've broken the boards. It's fun. It's now saying on time again. Oh no, that's on time for the next train. Yeah, I've broken the boards. I'm so late. It doesn't know where I am anymore. And I've come in too short because I forgot that Sittingbourne Station is really bad for stopping points. If you're at the front of the train and you want to get a train to Sheerness, then one, what's wrong with you? And two, you're screwed. Because you will never make it from here to here before it leaves. Never. But who wants to go to Sheerness anyway? Story time. Yes, story time. People always say that, you know, routes are a snapshot in time. That is a fact. We make a route set in a year, it stays set in that year. Routes often have a chance to go out of date every now and then. For example, the original Southeastern route in in Thingy, but in TS1, Rochester Station closed a few years later. Route became out of date. You'd think a modern route like this would stay right up to date and stay in date for quite a while. Nope. Nope. Because literally the weekend before this route comes out, they've demolished this footbridge. It's just the route not even out, and it's out of date. But it just shows the progression of the railway. It's an old iron step footbridge. They've got this new one in now, so it doesn't need it. But yeah, it's just one of those things that just makes me laugh. Route not even out yet, and they've demolished that footbridge. But at least it's preserved forever in Train Sim World. That's something to remember. And the boards are definitely doing something funky, because this one says 1028 and one over here says something different. And no, this one, the next service on this platform is a rail tour. If you own Northern Transpennine, so there you go. It gives you an idea of when the next rail tour is on this platform. Platform 3. Yes, platform 3. The Medway Wanderer calls it Signal Platform 3. So there you go. Lock the doors. Watch the departure from the outside. It's the last chance we're going to get today. Hammer off, hopefully. Yeah. Excellent. Perfect. Away we go. Alright, up to 80 miles an hour. Which is interesting. I think we've got an 80 limit. Track in the other direction has a 90 limit, I think. So, depending on which direction you go in, slightly different speeds. I'd imagine because of the way the curvature changes. Depending on which side you're on, inside or outside the curve, etc. But yeah, we've got an 80 limit here. But aside from a brief amount of 85, the line in the other direction is 90. Because I know these things. That I do. .3 miles to Faversham. We'll go through Chatham on the way, non-stop, because we don't stop there. Again, if you want to do an old stops sort of affair with the 395 scenario planners there, you could do all sorts of scenario planner. I want to put the 33 on it at some point. That'd be good fun. Once we go through Chatham, we'll see another type of crossing. One that we don't need to stop to have go down. It just goes down. Because it's in the middle of the route. It's not at a station. Although I think there is still one at Chatham. There's still 2 level crossings left to go, I think. Don't know. I think it's 2 left. One at Chatham and one between Chatham and Faversham. I believe. What number 395 are we in, by the way? 022. Ah. As if it was 008, then he'd be a little bit nervous around these parts, because 395 008 a few years ago was running along here at 90 miles an hour, as it does in the other direction, and a van just, you know, typical white transit, just crossed the tracks, hit it, and put the train out of action for about a year. But 395 008 is back in service now. It has been for a while. But yeah, that's one of these crossings. Because this is a lot of farmland and such. So a lot of these crossings like manual, where you got to ring up and get permission. Clearly the guy didn't get permission. So yeah, that happened. But luckily all 395s continue to remain in service. There is another crossing here. Right there. Oh, one more crossing to go over. Wherever that shall be. But it's a slightly different one. Limit's going up to 85. Let's fly ahead. Let's find the crossing. Just so we can watch a flight. We haven't had a fly past. We haven't had a fly past, really. Done departures, not had a fly past. I can hear noises. I hear construction noises. Lovely. Hopefully me flying this far away from the train doesn't break anything. Should be fine. I wonder if the crossing will already be down, because I'm flying at about 120 miles an hour here. I wonder if we'll beat it going down. We're beating it going down. Oh, no, we haven't. See, this one constantly makes noise, and it's a different style. Here we come. Lovely. Anyway, let's get annoying. Let's go back in here. Yeah, I do make a lot. I do make a racket. Going uphill, we are not keeping our speed. As I said, sluggish. I also love these little huts. You can go in those huts. Those doors are not like invisible, walled off. You can go in them if you so desire. 1.8 miles to Faversham. Gonna miss the 75. Oh well, we'll be down for it in good time. There we go. No one will notice that. No one will notice that. That's probably for the red that's going to be at the end of the platform. 60 limit, not far off. Another foot crossing. Probably be what the whistle border's for. We are down to 60 in good time. Excellent. Are we branching off? No, we're not. We're going into one of the middle platforms, so we do not have to slow down completely. It's like 15 to go into one of the side platforms. Because there are 4 platforms at Faversham. 1, 2, 3 and 4, as you'd expect. We're probably going into platform, I want to say, well, it's going to be 2 or 3. I can't remember which way round it goes, because I'm useless. But yeah, we do have a red signal at the end of the platform, which is understandable. So we'll bring it in nice and carefully, because spanning at the end would be a little bit of a disaster. After making it all this way. So you've got a service sat in the other platform there. There's our red. But this is Faversham. We've made it. And we're only 3 minutes late. I'd say that's perfectly acceptable. I'd say that's very perfectly acceptable. So, there, that's all good. Right, let's go straight past the stopping point. Yeah, that's a good idea. Stop it just wherever it fancies. Welcome to Faversham. Let's get those doors open. This train doesn't terminate here. It goes on to Ramsgate, I believe. Yes, it goes on to Ramsgate, but it's where we are done. Another driver can take over. That they can, so let's walk out. Let's walk out. And just admire our train. That is Southeastern High Speed, which is very much my cup of tea. I have got quite a bit planned for stuff I want to do with this. The rate of which I do it remains to be seen. Maybe fairly frequently. Because I enjoy it. Because I enjoy it. For me, this is the 395 I love. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. But that has been that. That is Southeastern High Speed. Relevant information, description below as always. Let me know about the widescreen once again. If you like it, I'll keep it. If you don't, I won't. It's just one of those things. I imagine, like everything else, it's going to be a 50-50 split. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll do a mix. Who knows? Who knows? But that has been Southeastern High Speed. I'll not go on for much longer. I'll leave you be. I will leave you be. So thank you very much for watching this one, and I will see you in the next video.